The CIA is running parallel operations with NSA. Why is the CIA developing this stuff? This is NSA and DARPA that should be doing it. And NSA and DARPA are doing it.
What's
but the CIA is
line there,
also
John?
doing it.
How do you, like, what? Because
on the one hand,
do you think that, have you discovered things in the years since being out of CIA, which has been a long time now?
Yeah, it's been out a long time.
That shocks you? And before you answer that, the reason I asked that is because whether it's CIA, NSA,
Sure,
wherever, a brilliant tactic that all these bureaucracies use is they compartmentalize people to work on what they're working on.
That's right. And that's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
They want you to be compartmentalized so you're not wondering what
That's
Fred's
right.
doing down the hall.
That's right.
Because it's none of your damn business what Fred's doing down the hall.
So question remains, are there things that you've discovered that CIA does that doesn't have to be for a bad reason either, but
I've been shocked.
Shocks you.
Yeah, I've been shocked. I was shocked with the Vault 7 revelations in 2017.
The WikiLeaks stuff.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Now, what was that?
Vault 7 is very complicated. Among other things, Vault 7 showed that the CIA had developed hacking capability where they could hack into, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the Cubans, whomever, hack the system, and then leave traces of the hack on purpose, but with the traces written in Cyrillic or Mandarin, so that once they were discovered by the IT security guys in those countries, they'd say, "Oh, it was the Russians that did it. They left one little line of code, and it's all written in Russian."
Conveniently.
Yeah. So that was one thing. Another thing that Vault 7 taught us was that the CIA developed the capability to take over your car remotely by hacking into the car's computer system to drive you off a bridge or into a tree.
Now, did we discover examples of where this was used?
We did not, but the conventional wisdom among the blogosphere is that, we should ask Michael Hastings what happened to him.
Whoa.
Yeah, Vault 7 also told us that the CIA is able to take over a smart TV to turn the speaker into a microphone so that it broadcasts everything taking place in the room with the TV still off.
Well, the TV's on, so hello.
Pretty impressive.
Hello, Langley.
Yeah.
How are you? Hey guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's a huge help. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the show.
So what that told me, those are very cool. And there were a dozen more things that were part of Vault 7. But what it also told me is that the CIA is running parallel operations with NSA. Why is the CIA developing this stuff? This is NSA and DARPA that should be doing it. And NSA and DARPA are doing it.
What's
but the CIA is
line there,
also
John?
doing it.
How do you, like, what? Because
on the one hand, they have so much money that they can't spend it all. So they just make their own NSA, make their own DARPA. I have a buddy, I sat next to him for the first 3.5 years of my career. He's now the deputy director of the CIA for innovation. What's that? He was always a computer nerd.
Yeah.
And I remember he got an award like 1991 because he came up with a program to make a very crude family tree. Like computers were new to us at the time. When I first started, I had this big box that had a green screen. It was about that big called the Delta Data. And I had an IBM Selectric 3 typewriter next to me because half of what we did was on the typewriter still. So he came up with this crude family tree so we could do the Saudi royal family, the Kuwaiti royal family, Bahraini royal family, just so it's, clear when you're doing your analysis. And they were like, "Wow, you did that on this new computer? That's amazing. Here's $500 and an exceptional performance award." Now he's the deputy director of the CIA for innovation, which tells me that he's in charge of all this crazy shit that we're reading about at WikiLeaks.
That's what I don't understand, though. Like, why even have DARPA or NSA if it's not just a department of like CIA and the other way around with CIA being a department, you know what I mean? Like, why do you even have separation? Because I'll give you an example. You may call on fucking Tim Cook at Apple to take care of something they need. If you're DARPA, it's
they
CIA can call them too.
Yeah, sure.
So why aren't they all just under one roof?
Oftentimes it's a bureaucratic pissing match where the Secretary of Defense will say, well, CIA does its own thing for its own reasons. We're very specific. Our mission is, to protect the homeland and our troops and whatever. CIA is like, we don't really give a shit about the troops. We don't have anything to do with the troops except maybe we'll see them in the cafeteria when we're at some base somewhere. So we want it for CIA reasons. And NSA is like, whoa, wait a minute. We're NSA. This is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. So we're going to be doing it. But again, when you have so much money that you can't spend it all in a fiscal year, you end up just replicating what the other guys are doing.
And does Congress even actually know what kind of money that CIA has?
No.
How does that get hidden so easily?
Every single year after year after year after year, Congress appropriates more money than the Defense Department asks for.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Because then you're not weak on defense. Those pinkos, otherwise, Yeah. And there's how many trillions of dollars missing. And after how many years of internal audits, PricewaterhouseCoopers just gave up and said, we don't know where this money went. It's just gone.
How do you, what kind of, I guess, look through, see through, work with, however you want to say it, did you have with NSA during your career for things you did? And what was that like?
I had a good relationship with NSA. I made a point of making that long drive out to NSA at least once a year just to say, hey, how you guys doing? What are you working on? Let's go have a coffee in the cafeteria. And then we would invite them to come over to the agency. They would always come like 6 or 8 at a time, and we'd spend the day and take them to the gift shop and whatever.
So you got along.
Oh, yeah, always got along. And then they would call and say, listen, we're going to publish something in about an hour, but you need to know what this is because you work on XYZ issue. And they would give me a heads up. So I could call the 7th floor and say, listen, NSA is coming out with something big. This is what they're going to say. And that was a valuable relationship. Even operationally, I had a good relationship with NSA to the point where in one of my overseas tours, I worked closely with an NSA officer, and he really did me a solid. There were a couple of phone numbers I asked him to just start intercepting and tell me if there's anything interesting. And just to be a nice guy, he also began intercepting the phone of one of my sources. And so he said to me one day, hey, I have a present for you. And he gives me this file, and it's a transcript of everything that my source has said. And I was like, this is fucking brilliant. So now I can say, hey, do you ever talk to so-and-so? Because I know it's there. I know he does. And then if he says, yeah, actually, I talked to him on Tuesday. You did? What did he say? And then he'll just parrot back. So I know he's telling the truth. That's called operational vetting. And so I can write to headquarters and say, I know for 100% certainty that he's telling me the truth.
Wow. So that's interesting because you always hear about like this interagency rivalry and stuff. And you would think that when CIA has their own innovation and technology design,
that's going to be a problem.
Oh, we're going to come up with it first, or they're going to come up with it first, but you guys are still working together. It's just weird.
Yeah, and then throw in the whole nonsense about InQtel and Palantir. Where,
please do throw it in, John.
Where the CIA now is in the venture capital business for a profit, which is illegal. Not
if you're writing the laws.
Not if you're writing the laws.
Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.